All right, looks like we're live, and I'm back, bitches. Just make sure this is going out okay. No robot voice, nothing like that. Alrighty. So I've been past basically 2 days. I've been kind of snowed in, and tonight I just had a fucking migraine, so I decided, take a lay down, try to sleep it off, kind of thing. And so I wake up about an hour ago, check the recent comments on my YouTube, and find somebody commenting on the Saturday stream saying, "Hey, this is back." So I check my status, and my channel is restored. The appeal seems to have gone through. I didn't get a notice in like an email or anything about it, but whatever. Here we are. We're back. So Luke should be joining us shortly. I have an article I'd like to read. I don't believe I did this Saturday. I know I did it on Davis's channel. Here we go. So this article is from Jezebel, so you know it's good. Porn actors Leigh Raven and Riley Nixon allege abuse, violence, and boundary violation on set. We're getting right to the retard sex here, folks. And this is going to be some good retard sex. Real quick in the chats here, we got somebody said, Cynic and Chief says, "Hey, you're back." And here I was going to build a Hangouts clone to get you back. Well, I was just going to stream on Luke's channel. And then we were going to upload the streams after they were done onto here as videos. We did one stream, just kind of a test run. So if I ever get Show It again, that'll be another avenue to go through. So he says, "About to sleep, who's your favorite apologist?" You can't go wrong reading something like C.S. Lewis. Ravi Zacharias is a current one that's really good. My favorite preacher, period, is probably a guy named Steve Brown. Does a ministry called Key Life Ministries. All right, so back to the retard sex. I'm not going to read this whole article because it's pretty long, but porn actors Leigh Raven and Riley Nixon have released a more than hour-long YouTube video detailing two different incidences of alleged abuse on adult sets. They say both events took place during shoots with the male performer Rico Strong. Rico Strong, as when we were talking about this on Davis's stream, Luke found a picture of this gentleman, a safe for work picture, and he's a gentleman of color, which will come up later in the article. And he's what's known as a basketball American, I believe is the proper term. And for porn director, known as Just Dave, which, by the way, that's a fantastic name for a porn director. Hats off to Just Dave. Their accusations include misleading booking practices, excessive face slapping and choking, not just normal face slapping and choking, excessive, and boundary violation. In Raven's case, the shoot took place earlier in the week of March 6th. Raven said she filed a police report and undergone a medical evaluation as part of the investigation. Nixon's allegations concern a shoot that happened earlier in January. She came forward with her account only in response to Raven's claims, of course. Neither one really responded to Jezebel. I'm paraphrasing a lot of this article because I don't want to go through the whole thing. Rico Strong did not respond either, but he responded to Jezebel. But he responded to the allegations in a long series of tweets. In one, he wrote, "I'm the coolest MF to be around on set, and I'll stay to myself and do my job, and I don't know why someone would put false words out on me." Just Dave alleged to Jezebel via Twitter DM that he has 6 hours of unedited footage of the shoot with Raven, that it, quote, does not match what she is claiming, unquote. He says that he has provided the footage to police, and he plans to release it publicly, quote, soon enough, unquote. So it sounds like he at least seems to be saying he's got the proof. If he's handing it over to cops, if he's saying he's going to release it publicly, it sounds like he's going to undermine their story. I don't believe these girls bitching for a second. Somebody says, who isn't satisfied with just moderate choking, for crying out loud? Well, you can't cry out loud when you get choked. That's the thing. All right, so I want to get to the good shit. Okay, here we go. The YouTube testimonial, which was filmed and uploaded by Raven's wife, Nikki Hartz, because of course it was, begins with nearly 40 minutes of Raven's wife. If you're a lesbian and you watch your wife get fucked by a big black cock, is that still cucking? It's some sort of Zen riddle here. Is it worse cucking or is it not as bad cucking? I don't know. Wearing a hoodie and facing the camera head on, she says Strong, whom she considered. By the way, these girls are gross. You go click on this video. This girl is fucking disgusting. I don't really watch porn anymore. I gave up porn around 2007, and very rarely since then have I fallen off the wagon. It's bad for you. Don't be jerking off to porn. Don't be doing it. Okay, it's bad for you. It's like a junk food. Yeah, a little bit ain't gonna hurt you, but you're not gonna stop it a little bit. You're gonna get fucking addicted to it. It's gonna fuck with your mind. You know, it's bad for you. Don't do it. Steer clear of the stuff. Like I was looking at way too much of it about 10 years ago. But I'm proud to say I don't. Like, at least when I was looking at porn, the girls were hot. This is some ugly buzz cut little lesbian that looks like that chick in Florida that wants to take away your guns. Like, who is jerking off today? All right, so she says Strong. Here we go. I'm sorry. Let me back up a bit. She says that Strong, whom she considered a friend, called her on Tuesday to ask if she could replace a no-show performer in a shoot that day. Raven, who is white, says that Strong, who is black, told her it was, quote, kind of rough, unquote, seen with, quote, light racial play, unquote, and that he would be referring to her as, quote, my little saltine, unquote, or my little cracker, unquote. She agreed and showed up on the set that afternoon, where Raven says the production assistant similarly told her that the scene would be, quote, a little rough, unquote. She knew what the fuck she was signing on to. I don't buy this. She didn't. This is fucking hilarious. Some of this is hilarious. Let's see. I want to try and find some of the like she was wearing a shirt with a Democrat donkey or something. Here we go. For the scene itself, she was asked to wear a tank top bearing, quote, the Democratic Party donkey, unquote. It began, she says, with Strong asking her several race-related questions, including, quote, which party was in favor of slavery, unquote. As she answered, she says there was off-canter banter between Strong and production assistant along the lines of, oh, she's a smart white bitch. And she put in the YouTube video, quote, I'm already feeling like I don't know if this is necessarily something I agreed to, unquote. In other words, she says the, quote, race play, unquote, didn't seem as, quote, light, unquote, as she had believed. Which party was in favor? I love that porn apparently has a little civics quiz and little American history quiz in the front of it. So basically it had that kind of racial element of domination in this scene, and you know he was slapping her around and stuff. She knew what the fuck she was getting into. What the fuck did you think kind of rough is? Kind of rough in the porn industry means, you know, domination and getting slapped around. You know, really rough means your asshole's gonna fit a fucking basketball in it or something. That's what porn is, okay? There's a line in. Oh, by the way, this article is fucking hilarious. You should click on Davis's stream. He did, I think, just the other night about it. Like she was they wanted her to vomit on his cock, like they wanted to gag her on the cock to the point she puked. So they made her sit there, eat apples, and drink water so she could puke. It's fucking hilarious, man. Eat them apples, bitch. Let's see. She also claims she has a shallow vagina, like her cervix isn't that far in or something, which you're in the wrong business then, sweetie. There's a line in here that's just so telling. She said something like, I don't know. I don't want to read the whole thing, but she said something like, it wasn't consensual. I mean, I consented, but well, then it was consensual, sweetie. Oh, we got Luke in here.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Luke, could you throw up a picture of those two porn stars? Here, I'll throw the article in the chat, but I know that's the YouTube. Let me grab the article.
Oh, the ones from Sunday.
Yeah, the ones we talked about on Davis's show. I just want you to look, check out the YouTube video or form or whatever. Just get a picture of these skanks. Like, they're just gross.
What we got? Ah, yes.
They're just gross. Like, who's jacking off to these girls? They're disgusting. Like I said, they look like the girl in Florida that wants to take away your guns. Like, why is her head shaved? Is she doing like a Stranger Things porn parody? What the fuck is happening here? Who is jacking off to this? Who wants to watch a buzz cut lesbian puke up apples all over a black dude's dick? Like, man.
Is there really a big market for that?
You have gone way down the rabbit hole, haven't you? So he says, I just got here. How did Bechtloff get out of jail? Well, apparently the appeal went through. That's about all. I know as much as you do at this point then. The appeal went through. That's all I know. Which, by the way, means that you can check out the Saturday show if you have not. And the Saturday show is very, very good. So do check out the Saturday show. Let's see. What else did I want to talk about? Oh, it's been snowed in today. That's a lot of fucking fun. Yesterday the weather was rough, but today it was. I mean, I really couldn't fucking go anywhere. In fact, just being outside trying to do a little shoveling and shit, it was like a whiteout. I'm pretty sure that's why I got a fucking migraine today. Every once in a while, like that sort of just sensory overload will do it to me. Luke's going to play some Subnautica for us, folks.
Hope you folks enjoy.
We're going to have a Let's Play here, folks. Are we ready for a Let's Play of Subnautica? It's not, it's no depression quest, but I suppose it'll do. Get some depression quest in here. Now we're talking. Let's see. By the way, folks, if you enjoy the content that I am thankfully once again allowed to produce, do check out the ways you can support this show. Down below, you see the Patreon where you can become a regular supporter. You see the PayPal where you can become just send a one-time gift. And there's also the Amazon. A couple of people have gotten some things off the Amazon wish list. I appreciate that, folks. I'm looking to get some better equipment added on there, but I got to figure out exactly what I want to get. I don't want to pull a DSP and, ask fans to buy a Lemon computer or some shit like that. Also, somebody suggested putting gun gear on there, like accessories and shit. I can't really think of any gun accessories I need right now. Other than ammo. I don't know if Amazon has fucking ammo on there. You can always use more ammo, that's for sure. If you think you have enough ammo, get some more. How many bullets do you need? One more. That's how many you need. Always one more. But I haven't seen any kind of gun equipment on Amazon that's something I need. All that's really on there now is like I think there's some books I'd like to read. Pardon me. Just woke up from a nap earlier, trying to sleep off a headache. There's some books I'd like to read. In fact, any books that I get off that Amazon wish list that folks are, kind enough to grab me, I will do at least a small review on one of the live streams of. And somebody already got me Jordan Peterson's book. Was it 12 Ways to Improve Yourself or some shit like that? I look forward to reading that. I have a couple other books on there, like White Identity by Jarrett Taylor, stuff like that. And then there's just some nerd shit on there I like. Like I found out the Weird Science show is on DVD. I added that on there. A couple old games, a couple of figures and shit like that. Just catches my eye. And by the way, if you do want to click on the Amazon wish list, if you're not somebody that uses Amazon regularly, don't be scared by what you see on the prices, because a lot of times, like, it always lists like the highest price in the used section or something like that. So sometimes you'll see like an old game and Amazon's listing it like $250 or something stupid, and then you click on the used section and like they're all going for like $12. So don't be scared at what you see on the prices. I know sometimes the prices look stupid, but on Amazon, but that's just how Amazon is. And I'm not even just saying that as, if you don't use Amazon regularly, that's just something you should know about it. The prices are not nearly as bad as they look. But yeah, just some nerd shit, a little bit of stuff like that. And obviously, you can just send direct donations. It's always helpful. Helps me keep doing what I'm doing. The super chat money actually is I'm ready to cash it out, but I don't know. Like I got the account, I got it linked up to my checking account, but honestly, I can't really figure out how to just go ahead and send it over. It's kind of counterintuitive, and I might just be being stupid and looking right past something. But I sent a little help thing in, so they'll get back to me. But it's in there, it's all set up, it's ready to go. So I appreciate everyone that has done super chats over the past few years. Aaron Clay says, "Hey, you're back on." Yep, the appeal went through. I don't know who flagged it. I don't know what it was quote unquote flagged for, but I appealed it, and I just put a little statement that says this is not hate speech. And I think I also said, like, if it is, show me how or something. And then it just, the Saturday show is back up, by the way. If you have not caught the Saturday show, please do so. I really should stream some Breath of the Wild if I can figure out how to get it all linked up to the laptop and shit like that. I am enjoying the hell out of that game. I was poking around in the castle some more today. I haven't done any of the Divine Beasts yet, and I really should. I'm just such a, like, I want to dick around. Like, I want to dick around and go off the beaten path, It's funny. I was talking to a friend about how, like, what was it? Last year, there was the big controversy with, No Man's Sky turned out to be a big disappointment. But I was telling him, like, to me, No Man's Sky sounded really terrible, even if it had lived up to all its promises. Because it just sounded like, a whole lot of dicking around, a whole lot of Skinner box. And to some extent, video games are always a little bit like that, but it's like, you go to a planet to get some supplies so that you can go to another planet to get some supplies to go to, like, it's like, yeah, you just kind of explore. And for the most part, it's weird. It's like, yeah, I love going off the beaten path. I love ignoring the missions I'm supposed to do way longer than I should. And I love poking around in areas I really shouldn't be in yet. I love doing that. But the thing about that is like,
you can't go off the beaten path if there is no beaten path. You know what I mean? Like, you can't play hooky if you're not in school, you know? Otherwise, you're just a guy, hanging out. I mean, like, I have objectives in the Zelda game, I should be going and doing the Divine Beast, but I'm not doing that yet. But if I had no fucking objective, or even if it was just the vague objective of defeat Ganon at some point, it wouldn't be as fun to just dick around, Davis Arini says a sandbox without limits is just a desert. Yeah. And like I said, that you can't have the satisfaction of going off the beaten path if there is no beaten path.
Kind of like in Subnautica, your whole goal is to get off the planet, but you could just linger around for a while if you wanted.
Yeah, you have an overarching goal, and you could make the goal to make the most badass fucking place to be, make your station as awesome as possible, but you're not just swimming around, dicking around for no reason. You have a goal, but you have the freedom to establish other goals is a good way to do those kind of games. Aaron Clary says the Switch has reinvigorated my passion for video games. Yeah, the Switch is great. It's interesting, and it's great in how it has such freedom in how you can play. Like, you could put the Joy-Cons onto like the little controller base and have sort of a proper controller. You can hook up the Pro controller thing, so you can have it on your TV and have a good old-fashioned controller the way so many game systems are. But the way I have it is I have my little Joy-Cons attached directly to the tablet and have basically since it came out of the box. And it's just basically a portable for me. I have it up in my room, and I don't have a TV in my bedroom. And I play it up there, and I haven't even hooked it up to a TV once. I like having the little portable aspect of it. I haven't really taken it anywhere. I haven't had opportunity to yet. But I at some point I probably would get like a good carrying case for it or something. But yeah, you don't even need the little dock. I mean, just grab the little charger and, take it somewhere. Aaron Clary says you're missing out. Well, again, see, the thing is I don't live alone, and I don't like to throw people off the TV so I can play video games, I don't like to do that. That was actually one of my favorite things about the Wii U is that most games could be played on the little pad. But yeah. Clary's in the chat. Clary, how far are you in Breath of the Wild? I know you were... did you get off the Great Plateau yet? I know he would... messaged me on Facebook or something. He was like, "Are you sick of cooking dubious food yet?" Because early on, cooking monster parts into they call it dubious food, where it just looks kind of gross. But it can restore some hearts, and it's a good way early on to replenish hearts. After that, monster parts become better to just. You can use them to make elixirs, but I don't use them that much. What I end up doing is I sell them to the shops for extra rupees. It's a good way to make rupees because you'll just end up with monster parts out the ass. And also, there's later on in the game, there's a guy who only deals in monster parts, and he even has his own currency. And you can, you can sell monster parts to him in exchange for, he calls it Mon, which is his currency, basically store credit at his shop. And then you can buy some interesting things. Like right now I have a goblin mask, a Boko goblin mask, which Boko goblins won't attack me when I have it on. They think I'm one of them until I attack them first. Now, other monsters will. So if you go to a camp, let's say, got Boko goblins and a moblin there, the moblin will get right up on you. And as soon as you start fighting him, then the goblins will also want to fight you. But yeah, it's Rini says, so basically he's an illegal organ harvester that pays in casino chips. Basically. Oh, Christian's in the chat too. That's cool. Haven't seen you around in a while. Aaron Clary says, I'm up to 6 hearts and 2 full stamina circles. I haven't boosted my stamina that much. I've mostly boosted the hearts. So I'm at like 1 and I think I'm like 1 more boost away from 2 full staminas, but I have like 13 hearts or some shit like that. I've mostly done the hearts. And I have the Master Sword at this point. Oh, and yesterday I just bought a house in it. There's the one place where you can buy a house. And what's cool about that is, yeah, you can get like a bed in it that you can sleep to restore hearts, which is whatever. But what's really cool is you can put weapon mounts up in the house. So it's sort of like an extra side inventory. You can just store weapons and bows and shields there. Let's see. Bechtloff is talking about a video game while Autistic Layman plays a different video game. Yeah, you're sitting here doing a Let's Play of Subnautica, and I'm talking about Breath of the Wild.
I could try to figure out how to get Breath in the Wild if I can get a copy of it.
Ah, cool. I might try, like I said, I might try to figure out how to get it on here too.
But what's really, oh yeah, this is funny. I just made this knife right here, and the computer gave me a little warning about what the history of the knife. It says, let's see. Weapons were removed from life pod fabricators following the massacre of Oxus Prime. The survival knife is the only exception.
Huh.
Although technically, I heard the creator made that because he wanted to protest like gun laws or something.
Oh, that's gay. Speaking of which, apparently on like the new Han Solo poster, they changed the poster that so Han isn't holding a blaster on the poster now.
What?
Because Star Wars is for faggots.
But he needs his blaster. He's Han Solo.
He has it in the movie, I guess, but he doesn't have it on a poster because, you know. So he says, "You're back." Yep, the appeal worked. I'm back. Well, guess who's back? Back again. Bechtloff's back. Tell a friend. I miss when Eminem wasn't a faggot.
So dark to get anything at this hour. Like, I wish I mean, I do have flares. I just don't want to waste them.
I've found a lot of times, like in Breath of the Wild, you can make a campfire if you have wood and a flint in your inventory, or if you just have wood in one of the flame swords. And I find like it's really useful because if you make a campfire, you can sit by it till it's set time. And traveling at night can be kind of a pain in the ass because skeleton versions of the various monsters like come up out of the ground and try and kill you. So it's just what happened with the band anyways. The appeal worked. So he says Bechtloff flew to California, dropped trow and mushroom slapped everyone at Google. Yep. And they loved it, so that's why they took away my ban. Somebody talking about the Han Solo movie says, I can hardly wait to see a movie about a guy we now know turns out to be a total deadbeat loser dad who gets shanked by his autistic son. Seriously, who wants to see a Han Solo movie now, knowing how he turned out? Who the hell wants to watch a Star Wars movie, period? Who wants anything to do with Star Wars anymore? I just don't get it. I don't get, and that's the thing. Like, I mean, I don't know. We'll see how episode 9 turns out. Like, as far as people going to see it. I mean, like, you know, everybody after episode 8 was like, this is it. The franchise is ruined. I'm so done. But you know what? I've heard this song and dance from you Star Wars fans before. Okay? Episode 1 sucked. And it took you like 6 months to admit that it sucked. And then finally you admitted it sucked. And then you went to go see episode 2 with bells on. Like, oh, this will be great, though. And it sucked. And then you went to go see episode 3. Like the other two weren't ass. Like, all excited for it. And it sucked. And then you went to go see episode 7. And it sucked. And then y'all went to go see episode 8. So I have an animated video coming out here soon. Luke's working on it. And the topic is that, you know, Star Wars, Disney didn't ruin Star Wars, you fans did. Because you never held it accountable. No matter how many times it shit in your mouth, you lined up for more. Yeah, Star Wars, I mean, like, how many shitty movies in a row does a franchise have to make before you stop going to see it? I mean, I get it. You like Star Wars. I like superhero movies. But I don't go watch DC fucking superhero movies because they're all ass. I didn't go see Justice League because it looked like shit. I did see Wonder Woman because I was cautiously optimistic about it because everything about it looked good, and it turned out to really be good. So he says episode 3 is better than episode 2 in the same way that dying of natural causes is better than crucifixion. So he says, Aaron Cleary says, ever tune into world-class bullshitters? I have not. I've heard a few people suggest it, but I haven't checked it out. Oh, I mentioned before, and I'll mention it again. The Saturday show will now once again be back on my channel, so that's good. Thank you to Luke for temporarily hosting us.
No problem.
And if that ever happens again, we'll probably be back on Luke's channel, but hopefully it won't happen again. But the Saturday show might be a touch late. Check on social media. I'm, the facebook.com/the Bechtloff and gab.ai/the Bechtloff. And Luke, what's your Twitter?
Artistic Layman.
Yeah, on Twitter you can check with Luke on Artistic Layman, and Luke is obviously also on Gab, Artistic Layman. I have dinner plans that evening, so that might have me running a touch late. So there's a chance the live stream might end up at like 9 or something like that, maybe 10 at the latest. But yeah, there'll still be a live stream. George Lucas was a good boy who didn't do nothing. Wonder Woman isn't that great. I defy you to tell me what Ares' plan was. Did he want the Germans to gas the line? Then why was he helping Wonder Woman? I don't think Ares really had a plan. He just wanted to stir shit up. Like he didn't have a side. He just wanted to stir up fucking war and death. Because it gave him a big old boner. Because he's Aries. What really sold me on seeing the Wonder Woman movie, even after Batman vs. Superman sucked a big old dick, was when the director said that he had changed the origin. Instead of Wonder Woman being involved in World War II, he had changed it to being involved in World War I. And he said the reason being was he felt that with Wonder Woman's kind of message of peace. Oh, Luke's taking damage there. That it was
they're
more
exploding fish here.
that it was more appropriate. Damn, you getting your ass handed to you a bit there. That it was more appropriate for her to be involved in a war that was more pointless. Because, I mean, right or wrong, everybody has the narrative of why we fought World War II. Now, obviously, there's a bit of historical myth in that. But, World War II, at least in the fiction of it, there's more clear good guys and bad guys, Okay, the Nazis are cartoon supervillains. We got to stop them. But World War I, I mean, nobody knows what the fuck they were fighting for. There was a big old tangle of treaties in Europe, plus just natural tensions Europe's always had. And, next thing you know, everybody's fucking fighting. Nobody knows what the fuck anybody was fighting for in World War One. In fact, if we, the United States, had not stupidly gotten involved in World War One, it probably would have just ended with a fucking draw. Everybody would have just eventually gone home. One side would have crawled out of the trenches and gone home, and the other side would have been like, I didn't know we could do that, and done the same thing. Probably wouldn't have had the Soviet Union, probably wouldn't have had Nazi Germany. Our involvement in World War I caused the 20th century to be the bloodiest in a very long time.
I just sent out my distress beacon. Apparently, they'll be here in 100,000 hours.
How long is that?
Well, in game time, it probably is nothing but 100,000 hours.
Hang on, let me whip out the old calculator. I'm kind of curious here. 100,000 by 24. Okay, so over 4,166 days. So 4166 365 equal. So you got over 11 years before help comes to get you.
Wonderful.
So he says Dr. Poison could have been a whole lot cooler in the comics. She's a sadistic Amazon gone bad. I know Bechtloff would have liked that. Probably, yeah, that would just get me to normal, but yeah, I would have enjoyed that. Was the Marvel movie about the magic guy any good, Doctor Strange or something? I was thinking of watching it for the special effects. Doctor Strange is actually really good. And even Davis, not liking superheroes, might enjoy it. Basically, if you ever watch Dr. House, like the show House, imagine if House found spiritual redemption and in the process became a wizard. That's Doctor Strange in a nutshell.
Perfect.
It's a very solid movie. It's even very interesting how he defeats the Demon Lord, Dormammu. And I'm not going to spoil that if Davis wants to watch the movie, but it's very interesting, and the special effects are just fantastic. The visual flair of that movie is as close to the surrealist art of the classic 60s Steve Ditko Doctor Strange as I could imagine a modern movie ever being. So yeah, I like that movie a lot. It's got a really good character arc for the character. I think it's one of the best in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Bechtloff, is your Saturday show on private? Because I don't see it in the list. Someone made mention how they can't see it on your channel, and I don't see it here.
Let me go ahead and check. Somebody commented on it, so I see it. Bridge too far. the third one down.
Oh, great. Is it in hidden mode or something?
I don't know. Let's take a look. Edit video. It says it's public.
Interesting.
Well,
It is what I see.
Let me try something.
Yeah, this is what I'm looking at right now.
Hang on. Okay.
I see our show and then Friday's show.
It's weird because somebody commented, so somebody was able to see it. Well, let me go into a different browser, and I'll go to my channel when I'm not logged in and see what I see. Well, I see it when I'm not logged in. The only thing I can think is maybe it's just one of those kind of hiccups where, you know, it'll show up eventually on everybody, you know, kind of thing. If you're interested in checking out the Saturday show, and you should, I do have direct links to it on my social media. So, yeah, so check it out there, and I'm sure it'll pop back up in the listing here soon. Also, I mentioned before, both Asshole Consulting and Steve's Jerky had sponsored that show, and I am not going to count that week against them. In other words, that week is just kind of on the house because of all the fuck up around it. So he says, okay, I got work. Catch you later. Try not to get yanked for more hate speech while I'm gone. We'll try. We'll try to be good guys over here. But yeah, I highly suggest Doctor Strange. I think you'll like it. I think even Davis will like it, despite not liking superhero flicks. It's a solid flick. You know, a decent kind of redemptive arc for a guy, and you know, very true to the source material. I enjoyed it a great deal. Doctor Strange is also featured in Thor 3, which is pretty good. His cameo in there is great. Let's see what we got going on in chat. Nothing going on in chat. Let's see. Yeah, there's Steve's Jerky. Oh, man. Dead air, dead air, dead air. Let's see. So he says, not in the video list, but I found it in my history at watch. Well, it's obviously in some people's video list because the one guy saw it, and I can see it when I'm not logged in. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sure it'll just pop back up in there, whatever. But, you know, go ahead and check it out. As I said, links are in the social media, and you know what? Because the chat is actually saved right now, although I don't think YouTube should have done that. Let me go ahead and throw a link directly into the chat. So anybody watching this later, if you're having trouble finding the Saturday stream, boom, there you go. Link right there as I'm speaking. Bechtloff, who is your favorite human meme? Mine is Alex Jones. I unironically love Alex Jones. And he's right more often than he's wrong.
Which is very scary in this day and age.
Yeah, I wish he'd be wrong. But no, he's not.
Alex Jones rants and raves about satanic people in the government. That can't be true. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah. Oh, there's not chemicals in the water that are turning the frogs gay. Oh, wait, yeah, there are. Yeah. Oh, come on, Alex. The Democrats aren't actually Satanists. Oh, yeah, they are. But yeah, I see what else we got going on in the chat here. Talking about Star Wars Episode 2 was marred by lousy writing, and 90% of the movie was in a computer. Watching it again, it's just mediocre. Let's see. And the appeal went through. People asking, "Oh, you're back?" Yep. I did not think it would. Unabomber is the best living meme. Well, you know, he had that great glasses and hoodie look. Can't beat that. How is this Bechtloff nerd streaming? I thought he was in YouTube jail. I broke out. I found myself a good Ferengi lawyer, and he filed an appeal. Suspension rescinded. Yep. I'm back rambling on about nonsense while Luke plays Subnautica. Kind of snowed in today. I couldn't go anywhere today, man. It sucked. Even a bunch of the local businesses, like I follow on Facebook, were closed. He says, I keep trying to get kicked off the interwebs. I'm not spicy enough. Let's see. Have faith in our Jewish overlords. They're letting you stream again. I didn't say that. I'm just reading the chat, YouTube. Don't. I'm a good guy. I didn't do nothing. You're not so glorious return. I'll have a glorious return Saturday. The Ferengi are my favorite Star Trek race. Yeah, they're up there. I think my personal favorite are the Borg. Just because, I mean, it's the one time in history you can make communists actually scary. Because communists are usually pathetic. That's why they don't make good villains.
They're just scary in hordes.
Yeah, they're scary, and communism is scary, but communists themselves are not. They're like zombies in that regard. They're like the Borg. You know, one of them isn't scary, but the mass of them is. Hang on 1 second, folks. This dog is fussing around. I think he needs to get back in bed because I don't trust you. Come here. You're going to get into trouble if I don't have... If I'm not looking at you, buddy, you're going to get in trouble. I know you are. Yeah. Alrighty. What's your favorite drink? Juice, like orange juice and apple juice, etc. I see what you did there. Let's see. Why do so many girls have beards these days? I don't know what kind of girls you're dating. The tradition of dog beatings. Yep. No, he wanted to wander upstairs, and I don't trust him wandering around upstairs if I'm not watching him. He's basically housebroken, but he's gotten it into his head that it's sometimes okay to sneak up to the kitchen and take a shit. Which, I mean, at least he's not doing it on the carpet, but no, that's not okay, dog. Let's see. Ladies with beards dating in the circus or TRS. I'll hush you. Let's see. Will you watch Ted 2? Yeah, I probably will at some point. I really liked the first Ted movie. I don't really know that it needed a sequel, but I mean, it might be good.
Like I said, the first one was really good. So he says back. Ralph's stream is over. Oh, Ralph was streaming. I keep meaning to get him on, but he's usually streaming when I am. Would you rather date a girl with a beard or green hair? Well, I'm old enough to remember when girls with like green or pink or purple hair or something were quirky and fun, not like dour SJWs. Let's see. We got going on in the Subnautica here. What are we up to?
Trying to make a flashlight. I'm trying to get resources to start building a base.
Ah. Don't you already have a base?
Oh no, I started over. I already beat that.
Over.
I beat that. I beat that version.
Oh, okay. So you're playing through again.
Mm-hmm. And apparently, there's the ship that I landed from. The core is off center, and so it's going to explode in a couple hours. So we should catch that before we turn off.
Wait, so if you turn it off, the time keeps going in the game?
Oh no, it keeps playing only when you're playing, but they're letting us know that the core is going to explode. So get ready for that light show.
Ah. I was going to say every once in a while games pull that where it's like the game's clock keeps going even if you're not there, and it's like, no, don't tell me I have to fucking play when I have to fucking play a game. So he says, I briefly woke up and get to see this. Maybe green hair is from swimming in pools too much. Yeah, that's probably not why. Let's see. Come on. Trying to load up some YouTube or some Facebook comments here. People messaging me. This isn't the best stream, but I did want to hop on just because, holy crap, I can stream again. So, so he says, oh God, it just hit me. The shit droid people will have little buy days following them, like R2P2 or something. We never saw Walmart cart hose coming. This is so terrible. I might have just have a market. I don't know what the hell he's talking about there. Yeah, I don't know what that's talking about. Let's see. Finding any exploding fish?
Oh yes. Oh, here's a fish that's infected with something.
Infected?
Yeah, there's some sort of disease on this planet.
He's got to pause loads?
Possibly. Those little green spots right there.
He's gonna pause your neck hole?
Not if I don't let him.
Uh-oh, things is flashing red. Is he pausing your neg hole?
What's
coming at you from behind?
No.
I thought that meant you were taking damage.
Flash. Oh, that's probably because I'm dehydrated.
Oh.
Which is why I have plenty of water.
I was going to say, I'm sure your ship can purify the water around you.
The lifeboat doesn't come with that. I actually have to bring samples to be purified.
Oh, that's lame.
Oh yeah, and there's a whale-like creature above me.
Uh-oh, it looks like he's got paws.
I hope that isn't.
He's going to pause you in the neg hole. Pause loads. So he says, I'm waiting on my Steve's Jerky shipment. Yeah, I got some coming too, actually. So he says, anyways, I discovered there was a Canadian rapper named Little Windex who rapped about the Bitcoin crash. Huh. Well, isn't that something? Luke trying to escape San Francisco before he gets paused.
Los Angeles is just as bad, although it's a lot more tame.
Pause loads. I'm trying to gather up some fireproof lizards in Breath of the Wild because I want to make a whole bunch of. You have to get like fireproof elixirs to be able to approach Death Mountain and get to the Goron city. And like I'm not sure exactly how to get in it. Like last time I got to it, but I started running out of time on my elixir before I able to figure out how to get into it. So I want to make a bunch of elixirs, and once you get into the Goron city, you get fireproof armor, so you can just wander around freely around there. But you have to actually get into the city first, and then from there you could probably start the Divine Beast mission, which I'll probably drag my feet on for fucking forever. I'm really like I'm just one more step away from getting into the Divine Beast in the around the Zoro domain, like the water people. Let's see. And then there's the bird people, Divine Beast, and then there's the Gerudo village, the desert lesbians. They have like a camel stomping around the fucking big old robot camel that's their Divine Beast. I thought those were bubbles till you got close to them.
Oh, the rocks?
No, those little blue guys. Wait, those aren't bubbles.
Well, I'm following the last recording of another survivor, but apparently they didn't make it.
Did they get paused in an egg hole?
Here's their escape pod, and it looks like someone tore a hole out of their ship.
It looks like it was torn from the inside, though. Like that doesn't.
Maybe the recording inside will give us some hints.
Yeah, that doesn't look like an animal like ripped it open. It looks like it was ripped open from the inside.
Let's see what we got. Please tell me I can find it. Recordings, data dialogues, survivors. Oh, that's they tried to turn a little like a motor device into a lifeboat and get to a rendezvous point, but apparently they didn't escape the fish. Oh, the atmosphere in this game.
Yeah, it's very nice. I can see why Undertow recommended it so much. I don't know if my PC would even fucking play it though. This thing's such a piece of shit.
Yeah, my PC. I splurged on a new PC, and this one is designed for gaming.
Surprised they don't just bring it to console. I mean, I'm sure the Switch could handle it. It doesn't look any bigger in Breath of the Wild.
Oh, probably not. I don't know the size of Breath of the Wild, but this world is actually there's actually a whole underground cavern you have to travel to. I'm sure it's not as big as the Breath of the Wild, though.
Like the Great Plateau, which is essentially a tutorial level,
which actually I wouldn't mind almost doing like a second part of the Breath of the Wild review where I talk about just the Great Plateau, because it really is an amazing tutorial level. Like, it really is amazing how much it very organically teaches you how to play the game, you know? Like, not since the intro stage in Mega Man X have I seen a better tutorial level. You know, because nowadays game tutorial levels are just ham-holding bullshit, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, here, press X now, kind of stuff, you know? Where this, it very organically taught you not just the controls, but really how to be good at this game, you know? There are various areas where it taught you how to approach, villain enclaves in a smart way and that kind of thing. The Great Plateau is just fantastic. It's funny. It's like maybe, I don't know, 5% of the fucking world map, right? And it alone is probably about as big in square feet, for lack of a better term, as Ocarina of Time is. Like, if you took the entire Ocarina of Time minus, let's say, maybe the dungeons, like just the entire open world aspect of Ocarina of Time, it's probably a touch smaller than the Great Plateau.
That's a very big level.
I mean, saying level is almost not even, you know, because it's not a level per se.
Area, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, it kind of is, because there's really no way out off of it until you get the glider. Although I wonder if some speedrunner will eventually find one area where you can get off that fucking plateau just climbing. I'm sure if it's possible, somebody in like a, you know, will find it eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what's going on.
It's so weird. This area is so big. I always forget the locations. Like, I'm technically always in the same place. Like, the world doesn't actually change with each alteration, but you could easily get lost in here because it's just so expansive.
Yeah.
I remember I made this little buoy that would give me an air supply, but unfortunately I lost it in the middle of the ocean. I never found it again.
Let's see. Going to the chat here. Common Filth could only exist pre-2017. Somebody says he has nearly 8 million views. I really lost faith in humanity. Bechtloff, have you ever bought a pack of 200 plastic forks and stuck them in your buddy's front lawn? I can't say that I have. Aaron Clary says, Christ, how far are you in that game? I mean, I've explored basically the entire world. I mean, I've been to every region. Let me put it that way. I've explored every single square foot. I have all the towers activated except one. One has like, there's this nasty like purple black Ganon slime, like this concentrated evil shit that appears in certain areas of the map. And there's like, you have to find an eyeball in it to destroy it, like to shoot an arrow at an eyeball in it, or find some other way to destroy it. And basically, there's a whole bunch of that shit around this one tower, and I can't figure out how to get it off. But I have all the other towers activated, and like I said, really all I would need to do to beat the game is just do the fucking Divine Beast, and then go kill Ganon. I mean, hell, I have the Master Sword. If I was, you know, if I really wanted to test my skills, I could probably try and plow my way through the castle without even doing a Divine Beast. I mean, there are people who have literally beaten that game in 40 minutes, which is fucking ridiculous. Like, they get off the Great Plateau, and then with like 4 hearts, go fucking manage to kill Ganon somehow.
Well, I guess that's technically possible if you know all the moves.
Yeah, that was one of the big selling points of this game. You know, it's open world as can be. If you know, you want to go kill Ganon, go kill Ganon. You know,
although that's a lot faster than the Dark Side or whatever do, though.
You know, just stand outside the
Just standing outside the castle. Come on, you pig-faced sand nigga. Come get me. So he says, do the bird people or the Zora first. They have the best stuff. Well, I have some of the gear from them, like the armor you can get. Let's see. So he says, I wouldn't walk in San Francisco without a surgical mask. So he says, I thought it was Rico Strong being too sexually aggressive. Not sure what that's referring to, but still made me laugh. So anyone here, they might be a DC New Gods movie. I think Leslie Jones would be a good Caliban. I'm sorry. Think of the savings on makeup. Somebody says, I got out of San Francisco over a decade ago because I saw it coming, where they insisted on building stadiums to keep teams like chumps and not be rebuilding the reservoir. I was out. Somebody says PC Master Race, well, more like Mustard Race. Am I right? Press X to podcast. Would you do a review of the recent Waco show? I mean, I guess I haven't seen it, but I guess I could try and take a look at it. For $10, I don't know if I do it for. I mean, if you want to sponsor a podcast, I mean, it would be $10 plus the time it takes me to watch it. So it's $10 an hour to sponsor a podcast, but it's an hour podcast, so $10 is like the minimum. And then there's obviously prep time. So if you want me to watch a show that's 90 minutes, that's 15 more bucks, Or a movie that's 90 minutes, for example.
All right, my base is now begun.
Nice. Apparently there's a Flashpoint movie coming too that will flop hard. Nobody wants a movie about the horrible Ezra Miller Flash. Yeah, that Flash in Justice League looked like shit. It's the character, like everything about it looked terrible. It's like you have a better Flash on network television than the fucking big screen. It's amazing. I just skipped ahead in the chat here. Let me go back to where I was. Let's see. Let's see. Even if you did climb down, the plateau is surrounded by mist that won't let you pass. Really? I didn't know that. So even if you manage to get off the plateau, it won't let you. That's interesting.
Huh.
That's almost disappointing for a game that prides itself on do what you want. Like you'd almost think it'd be like, oh well, you made it past, fine. The Dark Knight trilogy was just a cop drama with a thin veneer of Batman. Honestly, the more and more I watch the Nolan movies, the less and less I like them. I mean, I'm not going to call them bad movies, but they're certainly not favorites. At this point, I would rather, if you're like, you want to watch a Batman movie, I'd rather watch a Michael Keaton Batman movie than any of Nolan's. So he says, fact, there's a lot of Rule 34 out there of Ganon raping Link. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's a lot of him raping Zelda.
By what proportion? Is it more or less with Link?
Oh, that's who? I don't know. That's
Although in this day and age, I'm inclined to think it's the latter than the former.
Somebody says DC does fantastic animated movies. Yeah, it's really good.
Well, speaking of animated movies,
Go ahead.
I just saw a little foreign film called Bird Boy and the Forgotten Children. Yeah, it has. I don't know if it's a good movie, but it has very interesting depictions of drug abuse, demonic possession, and a societal loss or depression or societal, like the sense of great loss, because apparently it's taking place on this on this island with animals, like human people, animals, and they used to have a nuclear power plant, but then exploded, and half the planet, nothing but waste, and the other half is just people just struggle, just wondering what their lives are about.
Interesting.
But not for the kids.
Somebody says DC can't do movies and Marvel sucks at TV. That's fair. Keeps jumping me to the bottom when I'm trying to actually read a bunch of this. Have you watched Crusher Joe yet? No, I haven't. I don't know what that is. Did anyone see the Chinese reviews for Black Panther? Chinese critics literally said, "So black it hurts my eyes." Yeah, they're not fond of black folks. Somebody says Zelda's usually helping him rape Link. That must be like the most extreme form of cuckolding. Where not only is your wife fucking this dude in front of you, now she's helping him fuck you. That's some next level cuckolding right there. Somebody says William Dafoe would be a good Joker. Yeah, probably. Cornelius Rex has a $2 Canadian super chat of late night shekels for Bechtloff. Thank you. You want shekels for watching movies or not? Well, if you were paying me to review a movie, yes, the time in which I have to watch the movie is part of the cost. I mean, it's one thing if you're paying me to review a movie that I've already seen. Like, I'm probably not going to charge you for the actual time to watch it. Like, or maybe I just wouldn't charge you as much, because I just got to rewatch it, so I don't got to pay a ton of attention or whatever. Aaron Clay says, yes, how much? It's $10 an hour. If you want to do a sponsored live stream, it's $10 an hour. Which means that it's $10 for the initial hour, plus $10 an hour for whatever kind of show prep is involved. Also, if you must have Luke involved, that's another $10. Now, the thing about it is, Luke is free a lot of the times when I stream. But I can't guarantee he'll be on the stream unless you're willing to do an additional 10 that I can toss to Luke.
Which I really appreciate.
So, if you don't want to pay for Luke, you might end up getting Luke. If he feels like hopping in. But if you want to make sure you have the visuals, then you gotta pay. Can we split the cost with another fan? Oh, I don't care. I mean, as long as I got my money, I don't care. I don't care if I don't care if you want to split the cost with 10 other fans, Somebody says, I just woke up, so maybe you discussed this, but you got your live streaming privileges back. Yes, the appeal went through. So. Oh. You damn shekel addict. I need them shekels, man.
We all need them shekels.
I didn't work 2 days this week. I was snowed in. Senecan Chief sends a $2 super chat, says shekels for the shekel god. Thank you. Yeah, I need them shekels there, Goy. I need that gold press latinum. Bechtloff. Somebody in the chat says Bechtloff's pay piggies. Yeah, you pay piggies better have my money. So he says lots of big names in the chat tonight. Yeah, Clary and Davis are
showing their support.
Let's see what we got going on. See, I'm a little behind you there, Luke, because I'm looking at the chat. So, every once in a while, I click back into the window, see what you're actually doing in the game. Let's see. Man. Lady friend I've been chatting with is aware of my online activities. It's funny, too. I kind of was like, because we were chatting for a while.
And I was like, okay, so you're gonna find this eventually. So I might as well like I do these live streams and podcasts, kind of a side thing, a bit of a hobby, but it makes me a few bucks, And I'm like, so the thing about it is though, if you listen to them, you got to understand that while I am myself in it, I'm a little, I'm kind of cranking a dial up to 11 on a lot of the shows, So just know that I'm not a guy that's just constantly screaming obscenities and racial epithets all the time. All right. And then she's like, no, I get it. Radio personality, all that. But yeah, she had texted me and she was like, I just saw your Bechtloff Facebook page. Nice profile pic, which is it's the Bulbasaur. Right now it's the Bulbasaur with Taylor Swift and Tiffany Trump. So Davis Arini sends me a super chat of $2 Canadian to tell people that the space dog meme is good. That's Davis's meme on his channel, Space Dog. Cynic Chief says Ralph was on earlier. Now Bechtloff, Christmas has come early, not just the weather. Fuck this snow. First day of spring, and I'm basically snowed into the fucking house today. It's funny, there's a handful of small businesses in the area that I follow on Facebook. I follow Just Press Play, which is a retro game chain, which has about 4 locations in this area, 3 in this county, 1 in York County. I follow Complete in Box, which is another retro game store, and I follow Timeline Arcade in York, which is one of those arcades where you have to pay to be in there, but all the machines are free to play. It's a nice little store. And I follow my local comic book store. There are other comic book stores that are local in the area, but it's the one I go to when I go to a comic book store. It's when I get the handful of comics I still read it. But anyways, I bring all that up because all of them had announced that they were closed except for the comic store. I actually call it's called the comic store. It's the most generic fucking name. I always call it Joe's because I know the guy that owns it is named Joe. So, me and my buddies all refer to it as Joe's. And that place never fucking closes. I mean, it's closed on holidays and that's it. But he has never closed for bad weather that I know of. I mean, I often joke that there could be a zombie apocalypse and Joe would be behind that counter trying to sell him issues of Walking Dead. I mean, and you can't even somebody was like, are you sure they just didn't announce on Facebook they were closed? And I'm like, no, they actually updated Facebook today, which is regular posts. Every other little place I follow on Facebook is like, oh, we're closing due to the weather. Stay home, stay safe. And then Joe's is like, come get you some comics. It's Wednesday, new comic day. Don't be a pussy. Let's see. Little Revolution says Luke needs to show some of the story log on stream that the world outside the planet is more terrifying than the horrifying monsters of the deep. Reedy says Space Dog is racist against black labs. Cornelius Rex has a super chat of $2 Canadian, says shekels for the previous question. And up above he says, I'm headed to bed, got to be up for work in 5 hours. However, could you discuss rant about something comic book related? I'll send you some shekels. Something comic book related. What am I discussing / ranting about something comic book related? Well, what am I reading right now? There's another Batman Ninja Turtle crossover I'm reading. There's what the fuck else am I getting? There's a new Xena comic book that's actually pretty good. It's kind of like a prequel to the show. It's like how her and that little blonde chick that follows her around, how they met. It's decent. There's a G.I. Joe versus $6 Million Man crossover that started recently. That's pretty good so far. Let's see. What else? What was his backstory? What was whose backstory?
$6 Million Man.
It's been a while since I watched it. I used to watch reruns of it when I was a kid. But he was some injured spy or something, and they rebuilt him into a cyborg.
like Inspector Gadget rebuild, or just a super like amplified rebuild?
They weren't all clear on like how much, but like he was super strong and super fast and shit like that.
Bechtloff, my ship, the main ship I fell from was about to explode.
Oh, cool.
If you want to watch it live, you can look in the original video.
Yeah, I got it open there, but yeah, it's
4, 3, 2.
Come on. Uh-oh, there it is. Boom. Well, that wasn't as big as I thought.
Well, now you're hearing clicks of radiation clicks.
Uh-oh.
Unfortunately, the computer said, "Okay, now you're in danger of radiation. Here, you can make the suit now."
Well, thanks. Gee, couldn't have let me do that before. You're not having kids now.
That's probably a good place to stop, though, for me to play, because I'm going to go back to making images now.
But yeah, $6 million man. That's the famous tagline where they're like, "Gentlemen, we can rebuild him. We have the technology."
Yes.
It's funny the crossover with G.I. Joe. The premise is it's one of those where we just act like the two things exist in the same universe. You know what I mean? It's one of those types of there's two types of comic book crossovers. There's the one where we acknowledge that they exist in different universes, and there's some sort of dimensional, interdimensional travel that connects the two things, right? The Batman Ninja Turtle crossovers have all done that. Justice League Avengers was a good example of that a lot of times. But then there's ones where it's like these out of continuity stories where we just act like these things exist in the same universe and they're just meeting for the first time. And G.I. Joe $6 Million Man is one of those things. Basically, like Cobra gets their hands on Lee Majors and they hack into his cybernetics and reprogram him and send him after the Joes. It makes me think of the if you've ever seen the movie Scrooge with Bill Murray, and if you haven't, you should. It's a Christmas classic. But there's like a bunch of commercials for fake shows that are coming up at the beginning of it, and one of them was like Lee Majors Saves Santa. It's called like the night the reindeer died. So yeah, if Lee Majors can save Santa, then Lee Majors can fight G.I. Joe. What the hell else am I reading? There's a bunch of those kind of like goofy ass crossovers I'm enjoying. There's a comic book called Dark Ark, which I highly recommend. This, even if you don't like superheroes, you'll enjoy this comic. The premise is, okay, so during the time of Noah's Ark, there was a second ark in which this guy who was a warlord or a warlock was charged by a demon with taking all the supernatural monsters of the world and preserving them in their own ark.
Pleasant.
So you can imagine just keeping the peace is a difficult task on this arc. And it's really, really good. It just finished its first story arc, so a trade paperback will probably be coming out soon. It's published by a company called Aftershock Comics called Dark Ark. And yeah, I highly recommend it. There's not anything really Marvel I'm reading. There's a miniseries called Old Man Hawkeye, which is a tie-in to the Old Man Logan universe, which is pretty decent. There's like 2 issues of that I read. And I read Scarlet Spider, and that's it. Oh, and I read Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows, although I'm thinking I might drop that. It's kind of shifted its focus away from being a family drama to being more about the teenage daughter. But those are the only Marvel books I read. And there's a handful of DC books I'm enjoying. Again, a lot of crossovers, but what the hell else am I getting? Oh, there's a Rocco's Modern Life comic book. That's pretty fun. I do love me some Rocco's Modern Life. And that was
always such a weird show, in my opinion.
I loved it as a kid, and watching it as an adult, it still holds up to me. It was it wasn't one of the original Nicktoon lineups. Like the original was the Doug, Ren and Stimpy, and Rugrats, but it was literally the fourth one. It came out like shortly after that. You know, it was the first time they expanded the Nicktoons lineup, and it's such a shame that it didn't last. I mean, like trash like Rugrats went on for like 10 fucking years. You know, SpongeBob will be on till the end of fucking time, but you know, we were lucky to get 3 seasons out of Rocco.
Oh yeah, there they all are.
Yeah, a lot of these I never watched. Real Monsters, I think, was probably the 5th one. I think it came out shortly after Rocco. I watched a little bit of it, but I don't know. It was something just off-putting about it. Angry Beavers, I didn't really watch much of. Cat Dog, I didn't really watch much of. I never totally got out of cartoons, but I got out of a lot of cartoons. Let me put it that way. I wasn't watching as many. Rugrats was trash right from the fucking beginning, though. Yeah, I was right. Real Monsters was the 4th one. Hey Arnold. I never liked Hey Arnold. It's interesting, though. When Hey Arnold came out, it kind of was interesting because I remember I read there was an issue of Simpsons magazine I had read as a kid. I got it at a newsstand once. And it was just a bunch of like articles on the Simpsons and shit like that. But there was a Hey Arnold comic strip was being published in it at the time. And it was like, you know, years before the show had ever come out. We're probably like 91 or 92 or some shit when this magazine was out. Sorry, I was snorting like DSP there for a second. But the comic strip was called like Hey Arnold Draws or Arnold Spells Infinity or something like that. Like you might be able to find it online, but let's see. What the hell else on there? SpongeBob I never really got into. Some of these I don't even fucking recognize. Fairly Odd Parents wasn't too bad. I mean, that's well after my time, but I've caught a few episodes of it. Danny Phantom was never too bad. It's an interesting premise. I mean, you know, Danny Phantom also calls somebody to kill a bunch of people. So there's that. Somebody says, "What's your opinion on Doug?" Doug was boring trash.
Oh, so it wasn't just me.
Oh man, that show was so fucking boring.
And oddly enough, has a sequel series.
I remember Disney just bought it off of Nickelodeon, like, and then they made like the Doug movie and shit like that. Somebody says, asking Davis Arini, so if physical succubi as portrayed in popular fiction walk the earth, how do you think current modern civilization would react? I think modern civilization is probably too fucking paused for even succubi to be able to handle. Like I said, Pinhead would come out and be like, holy shit, what's going on out here? I'm going to go home. Bechtloff, before I go to bed, there's a comic called Goddamned you should check out. It's set in a world before the flood where monsters and demons roam the world. It's a dystopic hellhole. It sounds interesting. Bechtloff, have you ever taken a pack of playing cards with naked dudes on them and hidden them around your workplace in hard-to-find spots? I can't say that I've done that, no. I can't.
Will you ever admit that you've done that?
I had a pocket knife that was like a replica of the knife that like Nazi officers were issued, and I remember at my last job, I had thought it turned out it was in a couch cushion at home, but I thought I had lost it at work, right? And I thought to myself, oh man, if that shit is found, I'm basically going to not be able to claim it. Like, either claim your knife or keep your job kind of situation. Let's see. David Serini says, I'd marry a succubus, raise our child to be a paladin just to piss off my father-in-law. That's funny. Bechtloff, do you know of any good comics that have vector style art? I don't believe I do. No, couldn't tell you. Somebody says Fairy Odd Parents went on for too long. Probably. Somebody says Invader Zim. I always hated Invader Zim. Fucking hot topic to show. I just found it very like I couldn't watch more than like 5 minutes of it. I just found it visually unappealing. It reminded me of pardon me. It reminded me of the MTV cartoons of the early 90s. In that there was just something very, very off-putting about it, right from the art style. We got some anime titties on screen. That's always nice. Oh, Morgan. Always happy to see Morgan. Darkstalkers is extremely underrated. There was a Darkstalkers comic out. Pardon me. That's worth checking out too, by the way. In fact, I did like an article in Reaction where I talked about like comics based on video games that are actually worth reading, and Darkstalkers was one of them. Let's see. Somebody says Angry Beavers was good. I never really watched much of it, but I didn't dislike it, what I had seen. Let's see. Hey, Luke, I managed to kill a ghost Leviathan after I got a thermo knife and a stasis gun. It was terrifying. I guess that's in the Subnautica game. Somebody says, didn't they just fire the socialist that was writing G.I. Joe comics? I hadn't heard they fired her, but I hope so. Good man that she was running that shit in the dirt. Thankfully, there doesn't seem to be any of that faggotry in that little crossover I'm reading. David Serini says, there's a reason Italian women have good bone structure. You're not able to pinpoint the point that violence turns into lovemaking. That's usually how it is with redheads.
Oh, and Bechtloff, here's the context. Here's what Ghost Leviathan looks like.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's creepy as fuck.
But I'm surprised he was able to kill them, because usually they're like the biggest things in the game, and you can't really, like, they're not really meant to fight. You have to run away from them.
I'm sure there's a way to kill it. Tell you what, in Breath of the Wild, the fucking centaur guys, I have yet to kill one of them. And they are bitches, man. They are they are tough as nails. They have the best AI in the game. Yeah, I have yet to take down one of them. I've taken down like everything else. I mean, I've taken down fucking Guardians. But I don't even have any ancient arrows yet, and I've taken that. Well, I have one ancient arrow. I literally found one in a treasure chest in the castle, poking around the castle. But like, I don't want to waste it. So it's like, I don't want to just fire the one arrow I have. But ancient arrows, once you get a bunch of them, they can kill guardians in one hit if you get them in the eye.
Well, this is an awkward moment right here. You're fighting a centaur, and your guardian sword plus broke.
Yeah, those things are bastards. Lionels, I think they're called, or something. But yeah, and you know what's their AI is so incredibly well programmed. Like there was one time I was up on a high spot, and I was trying to spam bombs to weaken him,
and he would, like, most monsters are dumb and they go right up to the bomb. No, he, as soon as he saw it, he shot it with fire and jumped back. And then there was one, I was up on this plateau and I'm staring at this one, right? And he's just looking at me, right? And I mean, he knows it's me. He spotted me, right? And I'm just kind of looking at him. And then I pull out my sword and then he wants to fight. Like he had this weird sense of honor, like he's the predator, where he's not coming after me until I pull my weapon out. Yeah, they have really well done AI. Supposedly they have really bitchin' weapons, but like I said, I haven't managed to kill one. Let's see. Davis Arini says, have you seen the new Mario design? I sent a picture to Luke. I don't know what sort of degenerate shit he sent you, but
I'm waiting for it, but I haven't gotten it yet.
But yeah, them Centaur guys are bastards. And the breaking weapon system is annoying as hell. And like I said, I have the review of Breath of the Wild, my half-ass review. And basically, I wanted to focus on my two complaints because everybody's sucking this game's dick. And to some extent, rightfully so. It's a great game. It deserves its praise. But there are flaws, and I don't think people have discussed the flaws enough. And the two flaws, in my opinion, are the enemy variety gets pretty samey. It's not even that there's probably not less enemies than in most Zelda games. It's just that this world is so big that there's not enough enemy variety for it. You know what I mean? And the other complaint is the weapon breaking system. I don't think that the weapon breaking system is that bad of an idea. I think they just went overboard with it. Like early in the game, when you're just using like bone and sticks and rocks and pieces of rusty ass swords, okay, fine, I understand it. But then later in the game, it's like you get this, fine crafted Zora weapon or fine crafted Goron weapon, and it just breaks in like 10 minutes. Hell, even the Master Sword kind of breaks. It runs out of energy, and you can't use it for 10 minutes. Somebody says the Lynels have the absolute best stuff at base levels. I'm sure they do. But man, the real question is there Rule 34 of the Lynels yet? I'm sure there is. And I'm sure I don't want to see it. I'm sure it's just poor Link getting raped with a horse cock. Let's see. But yeah, I'm sure there is. Let's see how far away. And of course, the other wonderful thing in that game is Zelda has an absolutely fantastic ass.
What is this thing?
Oh. I've seen that before. That's some sort of weird bootleg thing where they painted a koala to look like Mario or some shit. Still better than most AAA games.
Yeah, there's some sort of conspiracy. Davis has been trying to send me pictures, but the Skype won't let him send them to me.
I get a problem with downloading shit on Skype a lot of times. Like, I actually had a problem one time where it's like a fucking, Davis had sent me a zip file that just would not fucking open. Like, he sent it over Skype, and everyone's like mocking me in the fucking chat, like, Bechtloff can't open a zip file. And I'm like, what do you expect? I click open it via, browser, and it just won't fucking open. I click open it via this other browser, and it won't fucking open. Okay, this is fucking hilarious. Somebody sent me a picture where
It looks like Fox has a ball gag on the original art for like the first Smash Brothers, like the box art. This is great. I gotta send this to Luke. You gotta throw this up.
Ooh, what is it? What is it? What is it?
Somebody just sent this to me too. We just confirmed that Fox McCloud is into some kinky shit. This is canon, folks.
Curse you perspective.
This is on the box art of the Nintendo game. This is canon, folks. Fox McCloud into some kinky shit. Confirmed. That the furries draw art as for it.
I'm sorry, Davis. I cannot post what you just sent me.
Somebody said zip files need to be saved in Open and Explorer.
This one I can post.
Doing.
This one I can't post though.
Okay. Connect foreskin. Fucking funny. But yeah, that's what I was doing. It just wouldn't fucking work. I've opened zip files before. It's not like I've never fucking done that. It just wouldn't. The first time I ever tried to do it off Skype, it just wouldn't fucking work. Like some people send me shit on Facebook and it fucking does it. People send me shit on Skype and it doesn't. Somebody says furries have already made plenty of art about Fox McCloud. Plenty. I'm sure they have. You don't have to tell me, okay? I'm somebody who loved the old Sonic the Hedgehog comic, all right? And I can assure you, if I ever feel nostalgic for it and want to search for art for like Princess Sally, I better damn well have my safe search on. Let me tell you that much, all right? If I'm like, yeah, I feel nostalgic for that cartoon. Let me search Princess Sally. Oh, wait, no. Safe search on. Okay, yeah, Princess Sally. All right, there we go. Good times. I remember that. Yeah, you don't...
Someone tried to make a Sonic Boom version of her.
A Sonic Boom version of Princess Sally. That kind of sounds interesting. Oh, that's actually that was actually the kind of sort of redesign they did in the Archie comics. There was sort of a soft reboot after the first Mega Man Sonic crossover, because like the doctors were using the Chaos Emeralds to like reboot reality. So when it got restored with some slight changes. But yeah, I love the old Sonic comic. It was great. There's actually a mod of Sonic 1. There's two of them that are pretty cool. One where you can play as Sally Acorn, Princess Sally, and the other where you can play as Bunny Rabbit. Bunny Rabbit is a character from the game that was like Dr. Robotnik half roboticized her, but people saved her before it was too late. So she's got robot legs and a robot arm. And she like there's a version of Sonic 1 where you play as her, and oh geez.
Is that appropriate?
I guess you could throw that up. Yeah, you definitely wouldn't throw the unedited run. Although it'd be funny to send the unedited one to friends. Like, hey, check out the new Zelda comic. It's Link getting raped by some goblin guy. But anyways, yeah, there's two mods of Sonic 1. I mean, there's tons of mods of Sonic 1. But there's one where you play as Princess Sally, and like she has her little handheld computer, like that's like a sentient AI called Nicole, and she can like shoot a blast from like the front of her with Nicole. And then with Bunny Rabbit, she can only attack by like using like an extendo arm. She can do it in 4 different directions, but that's the only way she can attack. And she has a little hover boot, like rocket boots under her, like robot feet, give her like a little gliding ability. It's like a kind of almost like a second jump, but it really alters the way you play that game, because you can't just jump on enemies, for instance. You have to, you have to attack in that specific way. I actually have a mod of Sonic 3 and Knuckles where you play as Princess Sally and Tails follows you around. But it's and I have a mod of Sonic 1. I have a mod of Sonic 2 that has Princess Sally in it too. It's I got a bunch of, because I get them actually on carts. If you go to Etsy,
if you go to Etsy, you can get like ROM hack games and like homebrew games and shit on cart. Speaking of homebrew games, there's guys doing this thing called the NES Maker, which is this program specifically designed to make it really, really easy to program NES games basically from scratch. And they did a Kickstarter for it and all. And it started out because the guy made a game called Mystic Searches. He wanted to make his own NES game ever since he was a kid. And he basically, as an adult, decided to take the rough sketches he did as a kid and actually try and flesh them out into real ideas. You know what I mean? So that Sonic says it's fucking funny. But anyways, I'm actually looking forward to getting Mystic Searches because he's putting it out on actual NES carts and shit like that. And this NES Maker you might see a certain resurgence in like, I mean, obviously there's a lot of people making ROM hacks of NES games, and people have made original games and all, but this sort of makes it easier. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of impact that has on the retro game scene. Like I said, I'm looking forward to getting Mystic Searches when it's actually out. I discovered it because I sat in on a panel on this guy back in. I went to a con back in November 2016, and I sat in on a panel of this guy, and it's really interesting. Let's see.
Davis has almost an interesting video images.
Davis Arini says Princess Sally isn't wearing any pants. Well, neither is Sonic. I mean, Sonic's just running around in shoes and gloves. Soon. That's fucking funny. So he says, real hedgehogs support Israel. Zionic the Hedgehog. Somebody says there's too much soy in the Lon Ranch. Just says there's a reason why DeviantArt is called what it is. There is some absolute fantastic art on DeviantArt. But holy shit, is there some other stuff?
Let's find out.
I'm gonna send you 2 pieces of art I actually had commissioned from an artist I really like on DeviantArt. His handle is Mega Ryan 104 or some shit like that. I don't even know. But let me find out.
Holy cow, look at this. It was on the opening page.
What? Oh, that's not as bad as I thought it would be at first.
Yeah, step-by-step process of making Mystique.
That's kind of cool. Like at first I'm clicking on it and my initial thought is, oh God, what is this? But let's see if I can find the actual art. Okay, so here we go. I had him commission both of these. I think they turned out really well. I like this guy's art style. The Samus one especially turned out great. But what is his handle? I want to get it real quick. Mega Ryan. Okay, so it's Mega Ryan 104 at .deviantart.com. He mostly does stuff on retro games, but really good stuff. Yeah, both of those I had him commissioned just because I thought they'd be cool, and I like his art. But yeah, the Samus versus Aliens one was actually really fantastic. I love how the main lighting is Samus's visor. That just looked great. I'm actually thinking of there's this sort of like do-it-yourself project where you take a RetroPie. Luke, there's a lot of background noise on your end. Can you mute your mic if you're not talking? Thank you. But anyways, there's this the project I want to do where you get like a RetroPie and you basically build it into this
little arcade cabinet with like 6 buttons and a joystick and stuff. And I'm thinking of doing that project when I have both this free time and the money. I hope in the summer maybe I can. But anyways, it seems like a really cool do-it-yourself project, and it'd be really cool to get this and then get a bunch of games downloaded onto it and stuff. But anyways, there's like cover art that this guy had chosen off of DeviantArt, and I was actually thinking of having this Mega Ryan or maybe even Luke, like just commission some actual art for it, where it's just, yeah, it's just kind of a collage of classic game characters, you know, Donkey Kong, Mario, Sonic, you know, Mega Man, Kirby. Maybe even the NBA Jam basketball in there. NBA Jam is one of the few sports games I actually like. I only own 3 sports games in all the games I own. I have NHL 97 for the Genesis. I have Blades of Steel, which is a hockey game for the NES. And I have NBA Jam Tournament Edition for the Super Nintendo. Somebody says, yes, there is Xenomorph Rule 34. I'm also sad that I actually know that. Somebody says Xenomorph wins against Samus. I don't know about that. You know, if she's got all the weapons that you tend to get by the end of one of those games, I don't know about that. Let's see. Somebody says, I've got work in the morning, yet I can't pull away. David says, idea for a D&D campaign, run into an orc tribe blocking a road. Chieftain realizes you're badass and demands your fighter impregnates one of the wives to give him a smart half-orc son. Okay. Somebody says, Chozo Tech is best tech. Metroid would make a great animated series if, you know, Disney would get, or not Disney, Nintendo would get off its ass and actually let people do stuff with their shit, or even like a great comic book over at like Boom or IDW or something like that. Let's see. So he says regression to the mean would mean IQ of 80. It would be 92. Yeah, regression to the mean is kind of junk science in my opinion. Or at least it's really, really overstated by a lot of the alt-right types. Castlevania Season 2 is coming soon. Yeah, I really like the Season 1 on Metroid. Or Season 1 on Netflix. I mean, Metroid does have comics. Actually, there's like a Metroid fan thing. There was Metroid manga, which I don't believe has ever officially been translated into the US, like the Zelda mangas have. But there's a translation on a Metroid fan site that's actually really good. Somebody says, I wish Samus Returns wasn't 3D generated graphics, but rather like classic Metroid graphic style. Yeah, but, you know, you're just not likely to get that anymore. Somebody said, Nintendo is letting Illumination make a Mario movie. Prepare your holes for a lot of pain. I don't think Illumination is nearly as bad as everyone says. Yeah, they produced a lot of shit, but I mean, a lot. Most modern animation studios are ass. You know, I actually really like Despicable Me. I like that movie a lot. The sequels are meh, whatever. I don't think they're horrible by any stretch. I don't think they're great, but well, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. They could completely fuck it up, or it could turn out solid. I don't know. But I think the first Despicable Me is a fantastic movie, actually. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say the Minions movie is, you know, something you should watch. I think the hatred Minions get is a little weird. I don't really understand that. But it's not particularly good. Despicable Me was fine. It's the Dr. Seuss films and the others that suck. Oh, I'm not going to say that they haven't produced stuff that sucks. I just think they're capable of producing stuff that doesn't suck. Why is Nintendo bad at sharing its toys? I don't know. Nintendo just never seems to get it through its head that people in the U.S. like them. I think they listen to the gaming media a bit too much. Let's see. David Serini says, I have a campaign idea for D&D campaign centered around a war between two of the demigods in the abyss. See, Just Dave needs to produce the next Kirby game. Metroid Prime 4 is something that I'm heavily anticipating. I was never big on the Prime series. Just Dave would make a great in real life Kirby movie. Live action. Yeah, I don't think a Kirby movie should be live action. I don't think there's a lot of Nintendo games that should get a live action movie. Other than Zelda and Metroid, I don't think any of them could possibly be a good live action movie. Yeah, I am still thinking of getting together to do a D&D game with a bunch of shitlords on YouTube. That might be fun. I have a campaign in mind that would be pretty good. And somebody says Bechtloff should play a bard. Just Dave should rule 34 Cool Cat. I really hope there's no rule 34 of Cool Cat. U.S. gaming media is just mad Princess Peach isn't a trans woman. Let's see. I don't know what that Zelda gif is, but that's fantastic. Like, who is that dancing for him? Cool Cat, the rule 34 there. That's fantastic. Let's see. I'm probably going to wrap this up. Dave Serini says, I just found lots of Cool Cat rule 34. That's no good. That's no good indeed. Bechtloff, it's the villain soon for Skyrim Sword in the GIF. Okay. I've never played Skyrim Sword. I mean, I like Zelda a lot, but there's a bunch of them I have not played. I barely played any of Twilight Princess. I don't know why, but it just, like, I started that game, it just didn't connect with me. I think, like, the first game, Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, and Link Between Worlds, I think are the only ones I've beaten. Like I said, there's not many I've played a lot of. Skyward Sword sucks. Twilight Princess is much better. Yeah, I have not heard good things about Skyward Sword, which is a shame because apparently Skyward Sword, as far as story, adds a great deal to the Zelda lore. It's just as far as a game, it's not any good. He says Cool Cat is wrong. People need to be bullied more. It's funny. Let's see. I'm probably going to go ahead and wrap this up then, folks. I mean, we've gone on for almost 2 hours here. Luke, I appreciate your, being on here, as always, doing the sidekick duties. And, folks, if you enjoy the stream, you enjoy the content I produce, I'm glad to be back, by the way. But, obviously some of you did the super chats. That's greatly appreciated. And, there's also the PayPal where you can send a one-time donation of any amount. Any amount's greatly appreciated. Be it $1 or be it something more. And similarly with the Patreon, you can become a regular supporter. You can just be pledging $1 a month. You can be pledging, however much more you want. And there's also the Amazon wish list. If you want to just grab me something off the Amazon wish list, that's greatly appreciated. those are 3 ways to support me. And yes, I know I need to get the fucking cryptocurrency wallet set up. You know, I'm just a lazy, unorganized bastard. I haven't gotten to that yet, but I will. I know a lot of you have expressed interest in donating to me in cryptocurrency, and I would like to get started in cryptocurrency anyways. So, yes, that is coming down the pike. And all right, that's about all we got for today, folks. Thanks for listening. Bechtloff out.